God.
This is a millennial, I think, crying about it.
$36,000?
I mean, child care now costs more than college as parents fork over $36,000 a year. This is according
I got to pause this real quick. I don't know. First off.
I have something to say before you.
Okay.
I have something to say. I feel so passionate about the healthcare system.
This is childcare.
Oh.
They go on to say that 47% of parents spend $18,000 a year on childcare, and I think even 20% are spending $36,000. I'm seeing all of you.
Well, that makes sense actually.
First off, that's a lot of money.
That makes sense though.
Second off, I get not everybody's privileged enough to have parents, but like where are the grandparents? You know what I mean? Where's like the family? I mean, yeah, but this is like based on like I guess an average or something like that, or a large group of people. I said this. Okay, this is a controversial opinion, which I'm no stranger to. I said if women never entered the workforce in mass, this would not be an issue. What are your thoughts on my opinion?
I think your statement is an issue to the society.
Okay, so I said this. It clearly triggered a lot of people.
Triggered me.
A lot of people. And here's what I'm trying to say.
I'm just kidding.
What I'm trying to say is, you know how everybody says all the time, oh, back in the day, the man would just be able to work a job and support a family, right? That was back in the day when primarily just men were in the workforce. There was very little women in the workforce at that time. What happens when you double the workforce, like the amount of people who work? What happens when you double that, but there's not a doubling in jobs at that same time? So you have more people entering the workforce and then less jobs available.
Yeah,
the
competition.
Supply and demand, the wages go down. That's why when you look back...
You mean the wages go up?
Why would the wages go up if more people are willing to work?
Oh, you said more people. Okay, got it.
So the wages go down, just broadly speaking. And then that's why back in the day, you would probably have just one man running a shop who's a manager getting paid a very, very livable wage to run a store, whereas nowadays there's 3-4 people working minimum wage because there's so many people in the job market. And that's why you also see tons of other people complaining. I applied to 100,000 jobs this week and I can't find a job. Well, it's because first off, that's a whole other story. The jobs that they just list stuff and they're not actually hiring. But also, you're competing with more people now. And now since women have entered the workforce, if you're an average middle-income person, both the mom and the dad both have to work now because that's just the new standard. If you want to compete with other families, both have to work. But if women just tomorrow... This is hypothetical, this would never happen. If women tomorrow will all decided, you know what, I'm going to stay home with the kids. I would rather stay home with the kids. If they all decided we're going to quit our jobs, we're going to stay home with the kids, let the men do the work, every single guy would instantly start making more money. Instantly, because they would be taking on a larger workload. And instead of making $80,000 a year, they might make $120,000 a year because they need to absorb more workflow. That's my theory. And some people were commenting saying, I don't want to be a slave and stay home all day. So what do? You chose to be a slave to a corporation to make a salary.
Sounds about right.
I think it's very freeing. I would love to be a stay-at-home dad. I'm envious of you if one day you're a stay-home mama. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I definitely still want to work. Because I think it keeps me sharp and on my toes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you know what it is? When I saw my parents stop working, specifically my mom used to be like I get my work ethic, believe it or not, from my mom. But when you think of my mom now, you think of like she stays at home, she does a lot of like the house chores, she mows the lawn, that kind of stuff. But I could just tell like in terms of like the way she talks, thinking, everything was much sharper. Even her driving skills were much better when she was working because she was constantly having to use those muscles and those brain muscles. So my whole thing is that I think that it's important to still work, but at a point I don't want to
have to drop your kids off at childcare 5 days a week because you're going to an office job. I think if anything,
Well, I would never do an office job, but yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, working from home is one thing where you can still spend time with the children and not have to blow $36,000 a year on childcare.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's totally normal. That's fine. That was something that was a big part, I guess, of the economy, especially after we entered into the technological age. People were able to work from the computer, able to work home. There's lots of stories in like the early eBay days where women would be sitting at home figuring out how to make money on eBay.
Right.
Or even hooking up and doing customer support. They have programs that you can do it all from your laptop at home. You could work customer support.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on a call with customer support and like I hear kids crying in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I know that it's one of those programs, which is fine. That's totally good. That's totally fine. What I'm trying to say is women, I mean, your aspirations shouldn't be for getting a full-time job and being a work slave. Your aspirations should be for having a kid and taking care of a child.
I have to correct you on that.
I think that's
like,
much better.
I think I have to, well, okay,
Correct
I
me.
respect your opinion, but I guess what I have to say is that that's too general. That's too general.
Obviously, it doesn't apply to everybody. Not everybody can do it, but I'm speaking on the broad. There are people who are exceptions to the rules. There are people who are the rule. I'm speaking very broadly, so it doesn't apply to everybody. So, and that's why you see ballooning shit.